The Scarves by Daniela Bunge, translated by Kathryn Bishop. Every weekend, I visit my grandparents. One day, when I got there, my grandfather was standing outside by the front door with lots of suitcases and things. "Grandpa, are you going on a trip?" I asked. "Well, something like that," said Grandpa. Grandpa loaded everything into the car, and then we took a little walk through the park. "I'm not going to be living with Grandma for a while," he said. "Instead, I'll have my own apartment. Would you like to come and have a look at it?" The new apartment was at the other end of the park, though you could almost see Grandma's apartment through the trees. "Don't you like Grandma anymore?" I asked. "It's not that simple," said Grandpa. "We're just so different. Your grandmother likes cats, and her favorite color is blue. She wakes me up too early in the morning. I always have to clean up after her, and she eats my chocolate pudding. She always gets to decide what we watch on television, and she never wants to have a vacation in the mountains like I do." When I went to Grandma's, she had changed the whole apartment. There didn't seem to be a sign of Grandpa left, but there was a little cat. "Don't you like Grandpa anymore?" I asked. "It's not that simple," said Grandma. "We're just so different. Grandpa loves houseplants, and his favorite color is red. He makes me crazy with his loud music. He never leaves me any chocolate pudding. He always chooses our television shows, and he never wants to go with me to the beach." On Saturday, I visited Grandpa, and he had bought gallons of paint, red paint that was cherry red, raspberry red, and even tomato red. The new apartment was going to look just like he always wanted. It was funny, Grandpa didn't seem sad at all. He whistled along with songs on the radio. On Sunday, I visited Grandma, and her apartment was now all in blue, but the kitchen seemed kind of big without Grandpa. Grandma had made chocolate pudding. She could eat all she wanted now, but she didn't seem to have any appetite. "Are you crying?" I asked. "No," said Grandma. "The pudding tastes kind of salty." Grandma didn't eat one bite. The following week, Grandpa didn't get up until almost noon. Without Grandma, it was boring. He looked lonesome and lost, sitting there among his houseplants. "Are you crying?" I asked. "Oh, don't be silly," said Grandpa. "I'm just watching the snowflakes." I didn't believe him. Grandma was very excited when she opened the door to let me in, but then quickly turned around and went right back to the television show she was watching. Now she could watch whatever she wanted, but she was watching Grandpa's favorite show. Since when did Grandma like soccer? I began to wonder about Grandpa too. At his apartment, he proudly showed me his new bathing suit. I just stared because Grandpa doesn't even know how to swim. I was thinking I might go to the beach for a vacation, said Grandpa as he made swimming motion with his arms. One day, Grandma said, I want to show you something. Under the bed, she had hidden a big box. I made your grandfather ice skating over 30 years ago, said Grandma as he pulled out an old photo. Your grandfather was the best ice skater, and he has such rosy cheeks. Suddenly, Grandma had red cheeks too. When I went to Grandpa's, I asked him, How did you meet Grandma? Grandpa took down a box of pictures from the closet. It was a winter's day on Little Lake. Grandma was dancing over the ice with snowflakes in her hair. She looked like a princess, said Grandpa, his eyes twinkling as he stared at one of the pictures. Grandma and Grandpa still loved each other. That was clear. Something had to be done. Outside, it was snowing and the lake was freezing over. Then I had an idea. I went to the big cupboard and found yarn in Grandma and Grandpa's favorite color. Every evening I worked, and all you can hear was the clickety-clack of my knitting needles. Finally, when I was finished, I wrapped two packages, one for Grandma and one for Grandpa. Then I wrote two letters. Sunday afternoon, 2:30 at Little Lake. Bring your ice skates. I secretly delivered them to the front door of each apartment. Oh, I hope my plan works, I thought. The next day I went to the park. Little Lake was in the middle of the park, but I couldn't see either of my grandparents. Then in the distance, between the snowflakes, I could see a couple dancing on the ice. It was Grandma and Grandpa with their scarves flapping in the wind. The next weekend, I rang the bell at Grandpa's apartment. Grandma was sitting at the table, laughing. Grandpa had made chocolate pudding for her. Her cat was there too. You're going to have to look after the cat, said Grandma. We'll be going on a trip soon, a trip to the mountains and to the beach. I just smiled. The end.